So here's the thing about the beginning after the end, episode 5. It ended in the previous episode with a cliffhanger. Oh my god, Tessia, she betrayed us. And, she had that menacing, dark glare, which everyone and their mother assume, we'll probably kick off and he'll be fine. Obviously he's not gonna die. He's not gonna be able to beat his way through a group of trained elf soldiers. The bandit attack proved that if he doesn't have the jump on people, he is still a kid, even if he's strong. So we knew it was going to be a misunderstanding, or she would, solve it quick enough. And she does, to her credit. But the thing is I'm so used to anime, even just outside of general isekai fantasy shows, where okay, we're going to end on a cliffhanger, character looks menacing, and then either it's a misunderstanding or they go, teehee, it's all fine. And then we just move on with it because it's just for dramatic purpose. But this show didn't do that. Not once, but 2 or 3 times, our MC Arthur is like, why did I see that? For him, he saw the same menacing glare that we saw. Now, is that going to come back into a major way? I don't know. But I gotta admit, this is the first time in a long time I can remember a show do these types of cliffhangers and not just have the viewer misinterpret. He's also like, okay, I get why she would betray me and play nice. I used to do the same thing. I understand the game, but she's also not making sense here. And how much that plays a factor long term, I have no idea. I assume she's going to be the main love interest for the foreseeable future. So do I expect she's actually crazy and evil? No. But I appreciate that it's throwing our MC for a loop. And on top of that, he's also being conflicted because he sees such a loving family. And despite maybe him not having that in his original life, he very much misses his own. And now it seems like by the end of the episode, he's going to be away from them for at least another 5 years. Because originally they're going to ship his ass away. But now Gramps is saying, you're going to be my apprentice, and you kind of got to stick around because you're going to die otherwise. So, yeah, I very much enjoyed this episode, even if the action animation was pretty damn stiff. Of course, so I do have full live reactions over on my Patreon. You want to support my work, see my full thoughts on these episodes over there exclusively. So, it's interesting because I kind of been making some jokes about how, despite him being a child, he technically is like a 40 or 50-year-old man, he's already having chest pains. It's not great. And seemingly it's something about the beast's will, which I guess is going to be some power that's great, probably connected to the adoptive mother dragon goat monster thing that we were chilling with for some time and now is in an egg. So my assumption is, seeing enough fantasy shows, this feels like where we're probably going to some degree. We have an egg that was given to us, or I assume what is an egg, from this creature in a cave who helped us. I've been under the assumption she probably gets reincarnated herself or it will be her child, whatever. That thing's gonna hatch, and when that thing hatches, it will probably be bound to Arthur, and in doing so, I imagine that's gonna be the connection, right? So in the process of it building and growing, it's probably killing the boy because, he's strong, but maybe it's feeding off of his own mana or something. That's kind of my headspace right now. And given that Gramps wants to train us because he's like, shit, haven't met someone who's worth training in many years, but also you kind of will die without me. And I honestly believe that. He has been having minor chest pains that could be a stroke at a moment's notice for the past couple of episodes. Gaining some skills, but also making it so he doesn't die is probably the best way to go. And I think it's really interesting because the idea that, okay, we open these portals to go to different spots, but it only happens once every 7 years. So it's going to be 5 years from now when we do it. But we'll ship you off, right? Even though the dad was grumpy because damn those humans, because he's an elf and elves always hate humans. Whether rightfully or wrongfully so, doesn't matter. It's a staple in fantasy media. The idea that he was going to go home and the fact that he legitimately misses. At least Gramps is touching upon the fact that hey, we'll make a way so your family knows you're alive, right? And I think, it feels like it could make the parents go crazy because if you ship a letter back and say, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm with the elves, we already know humans and elves don't get along, and I'm going to be training for 5 years. It could seem like a kidnap letter, depending on how it is, so it'll be interesting. But, I guess he's going to go home when he's, 15 or something like that, and we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting because he legitimately misses his family, but here's the thing. Even though you can miss your family, 5 years from now, you're not going to miss them that much. Will he be happy to see them again? Of course. But yeah, for a guy who hasn't really had a family up to this point, this new family that will probably end up liking him, it's gonna kind of mend the pain for him. But his actual family, not so much, but maybe they get knocked up again to, deal with the fact that they got no kid right now. I don't know. But either way, narrative-wise, on point. I'm actually really liking him. His characterization is really good, and I do like the constant reminder of, like, how he'll be like, hey, like, I get this. Like, I used to pretend, or I'll stab people to do what I need to do because that's what I had to do. I get why she would do this to me, but wait, why didn't she do this to me? Why is she being nice? What was that glare? Like, he's very conflicted about all this stuff, and I think they're doing a great job at humanizing him, but also making him a flawed character. Not in the way that he's a poorly written character, but he's a flawed individual, given his original upbringing and the conflicting one he has here. I honestly forgot that she didn't realize that he killed the bandits, because when he's like, hey, I didn't, negotiate, I slaughtered their bitch ass. And they're like, preposterous, how would you do that? And she's like, oh shit, yeah, you probably did that, huh? I completely forgot she was in the back of the cart, and when she asked in the previous episode what happened, he's like, don't worry about it, I took care of it. So, I mean, I get why they don't, like, you have this deep-rooted hatred for how humans have treated elves and how each side probably thinks they're in the right, as it usually is. But yeah, like, the idea that this is a filthy human, we can't trust any of them, they probably want something. I did want to smack the dad a little bit when he's like, you want me to help you go home for saving my daughter? It's like, yes, sir, I would. This man could literally ask for her hand in marriage and have a reasonable claim for that, given he saved the princess. But I do love, and I do appreciate the fact that he's such a daddy's girl, because she walks over, she's like, Dad, I want him alive. And he's like, we're gonna keep him alive, and it's totally my idea. I don't know, it's humorous and enjoyable. The worst part of the production in this episode was the action scene. It wasn't as bad as some of the other ones we've seen where they shake the freaking camera 15 times and I feel nauseous as hell. It's just very stiff and, moves from image to image. But do I still think it's an overreaction to see people say the webcomic is better animated? Yeah, because that's literally impossible. It's a static image. But anyway, sorry, I have to, apologies, I'll change. Grr, I hate this, it's ugly, it ended before it began. That's what people want me to say. But no, I'm really enjoying this one. It's definitely shifted away from the comparisons of Mushoku Tensei, which was happening pretty early to begin with. But I think while the author has even admitted that they took influence, clearly they're doing their own story. And, a lot of people told me that I wouldn't really see this show being that impressive until, like, the second core. But I don't know. I've seen a lot that has me really engaged for this one. But, hey, I don't know. I guess I gotta be mad at it still. So, yes, I absolutely hate the episode. Course. You let me know your thoughts down below. I'm really liking it, and I wish we had more isekai fantasy stories that would normally just do bait things and actually continue to do something character-wise with it, because I like the acknowledgement that even our MC is like, why'd she look at me like that? Your thoughts? Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Little Big Trouble, Trap Senpai, F Google, Darthwin Wright, Magical, Eric Barton, the James CR7, Exorus Ghoul, and we also have Jeff. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you'll have a good one.